recording this shit. Alright, it should be good.
You're recording.
Yes.
Oh snap! That's not my voice.
Yeah. Is there an echo?
I don't hear an echo right now.
Yeah, same.
Leonard, what are you doing right now? What? Whoa, holy shit. No, this is very, very late. I asked what you were doing right now like minutes ago.
Yeah, but I said I was setting up a desktop so I could record the podcast.
But I just heard myself.
Because you repeated it.
No?
Okay, well.
I think I didn't.
Yeah, did my camera just shut off?
We're doing great.
Oh, fucking phone cut off.
Yo, anyone else gonna connect to the video?
I need to pee right now.
We all need to pee.
Are we ever?
Go
get this shit done.
pee. Who's stopping you?
Let's get this shit. Oh
Yo,
my
I
god!
thought Gent was black real quick.
Look at Gent.
No, you know what would be cool?
Gent just light skin.
You know.
I wish, bro.
You got a do-rag on?
No, he's got like a hat of sorts.
Yo, I will identify as a light skin if you give me a N-word pass, bro.
Oh my god. You look like a Eastern European basketball player.
Are you COVID free now?
How's your beard growing so big?
I don't know. It's just my genes.
I always shave my.
Free?
Well, I tested positive a couple days ago again, but they told me I'm not contagious.
Oh shit.
They told me I'm not contagious if I don't show symptoms. So I should be good, but my dad is scared. He's like, stay in your room.
So that means no.
Yeah. Did you have any symptoms? Like ever?
Yes, but during the first 5 days, like a light fever, loss of smell, and sore throat. That's it.
And you regained your ability to.
I'm totally fine right now.
Holy shit, guys! I'm reading this thing right now. This guy apparently found a way. So you know how YouTube videos can be private, right?
Are you recording?
Yeah, I've been recording.
Oh
so
shit! Okay.
How YouTube videos are private.
I want to go pee for a second.
Then go pee. Jesus, you gotta say it to the world before you gotta go pee.
I'll tell you about the interesting shit. What's going down while she's peeing?
Okay.
Basically, so YouTube videos can be privated, right? But this guy figured out how to get like one frame at a time from them, and he's just doing frame by frame, just downloading frame by frame. So he found a way to get access to private videos on YouTube.
Ooh.
So
why would you say that out loud though? Like now everybody's gonna figure. Wait, was it off a video?
Off of what?
If it was off another video.
Yeah, it was off someone else. No, I think they already patched the bug.
Oh.
But like the guy figured out how to do it beforehand, which is pretty crazy.
What are we gonna talk about?
No idea. We can talk about pedophiles.
Pedophiles. Why was that? Why was it the first thing you want to talk about?
Look, I've got toes. I've got scams. I've got
Okay, wait. I was listening to you guys. I just came back. Here's my opinion. What the fuck is this guy downloading? Like, privated YouTube videos are the stupidest shit. Like, what are you gonna watch? Like my anniversary video? Like my grandma's birthday video?
I mean,
hey, you might find something juicy on there.
Yeah, exactly. Not just that. It was more like a bug bounty type thing. So like he found an exploit in Google systems, which possibly could have led to more. You never know. Like people upload a lot of stuff, but it's just something interesting that I thought. Like even such big companies can have like the smallest fucking and the stupidest fucking bugs.
I mean, that's why I'm kind of worried about the WhatsApp update. Because like, yeah, sure, Facebook can sell our data, whatever. I really don't care. But also, people can just steal our data. Like, I feel like we've all just gotten way too comfortable with cybersecurity, and we don't realize that the more cybersecurity we have, the more hackers we're gonna have, right? Like, the more secure it gets, the better the hackers get. That's just how it works.
Wait, so what are we going?
We
So
just-
what are we talking about right now?
So have you heard about the new WhatsApp update?
Oh yeah, talking about what privacy? That's what he was talking about with Signal, though. Going to Signal.
So well, the thing is, okay, so I'm not just talking about privacy. Like, okay, yeah, privacy. First of all, my life is on the internet. Like, I probably should not be speaking about privacy. I don't have any privacy.
Not only your
But
life,
it's worrying because, yeah, I don't think Facebook needs any more data on me, but it is worrying that somebody could potentially hack into their servers. Like, I don't want all of my information to be all in the same place. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean,
they're
most of your data.
obviously
is
it's
out
not in
there
the
already.
right, but if it's held by different people for different reasons, then it's harder to kind of build a portfolio. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's the problem. That's the
am
problem.
I making sense?
Yeah, no, it makes full sense. Like, you know how Google has a lot of information on you, right? But Google, I'm pretty sure Google
Yeah.
acquired Fitbit.
No, for real?
Or a major.
No.
I don't think Google owns Fitbit, or do they?
Yep.
Let's Google. Let's Google. Let's
Oh,
Google
no.
see if Google owns Fitbit.
Oh no, it was. I don't think it ever went through, but they were gonna acquire it for 2.1 billion. Wait, did they acquire it?
I mean, like, my Fitbit has more information on me than I have on myself. Like, I use my Fitbit religiously.
Here's the problem.
My
Here's the
Fitbit-
problem. Wait,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, no, continue.
Here's the problem with Google or one of those big tech companies merging into this area. So the Fitbit provides information about how much you walk per day, your activity per day, essentially your heart rate, everything else, right? So if this company, Google, who also I'm pretty sure they acquired some sort of health insurance, some kind of, I remember this was a while ago.
Yeah, my brother was talking about it.
If health insurance companies or if health related companies can have access to all of that data and Google has access to all that data, they can make such a better profile of you. And that's dangerous. Your insurance premiums could go up solely because of your Fitbit.
Yeah, and that's a huge problem, actually. But you know what? I have something against the entire like insurance fucking industry. I think insurance as a whole. I mean, it shouldn't be a business model that exists, in my opinion.
I think it's a really smart business model.
It's just used to
Yeah.
exploit. Yeah, but it's just used to exploit people.
Guys,
Yes.
let's get to let's have a topic
Let's have a
and
topic.
talk about that topic. Because this whole thing was the prologue, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So
we're getting into
let's get to the juicy
Prologue?
meat. Yeah.
Thought you weren't into that.
Oh my goodness.
Could talk about how.
Oh God. Sorry.
We could talk about how a lot of companies are. I don't know if you guys have been to like any conventions or any sort, but I'm sure you have, or you've like spoken with a lot of companies or
It's
people
supposed to,
who are in big companies, but it's all fucking fake and they don't know what they're
Yeah.
doing. I went to this major I don't know if it's something you guys want
What
to
do you
talk
mean
about, but
by
I went to this convention in Germany for a blockchain, right? And it was all BS. Everyone there, like these people, they like travel in groups and their companies only work exclusively with each other and they kind of gain repertoire off each other. So kind of like a fake it till you make it, except for they don't make it.
No. And wait, what? How does that work?
So what happens is that these guys sponsor each other. They do partnerships with each other. They recommend each other to essentially each other. So I went to this thing, right? And first of all, I was the main person from that event is someone who I was going to work with. And it was this guy who was apparently very, 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 very wealthy, like very close to $1 billion wealthy, right? He had apparently had some really
Okay.
big business that sold to another really big business, yada, yada, yada. And he had this new blockchain bank type thing, right? Well, I knew it was fucking fake because the guy was withdrawing cryptocurrency from different accounts and like transferring it between accounts and shit. And then as soon as like there was a bug or something, he like migrated like it's all like they don't know what. How do I say this? It's fake. Like nothing was real there. They were all these different companies pitching all these different applications of blockchain and all these different things. And oh, we're using the blockchain for this and blockchain for that, but none of them had anything. It was just
So how did they make their money?
they don't make the money.
Like is it a scam?
It's not I don't know if it's necessarily.
Well, people aren't going to waste their time not making money, right? Like you're not going to dedicate your time just to not make money on purpose. Like you know that you're not.
They're trying to fake it till they make it.
I think that's what a lot of old, like all the blockchain companies that was coming up like 2 years ago. That's why the SEC put like these regulations on them for them to not really be, scamming these people out of their money. Like, remember BitConnect?
BitConnect.
Mm-hmm.
That one, yeah. That was just hurting people. Just because like people think that like, hey, it's Bitcoin, it's crypto, it's something new. I can easily make money out of it. That's why with this recent crypto surge that people started investing crazy in it too, because they feel like, hey, I can just make a bunch of money out of this if I just, put my life savings in it.
And the problem is no one knows. They don't know how it works. They don't know what it's based on. It's not based on anything. The only thing that's Bitcoin isn't meant, or cryptocurrency, it's not meant for investing. It's meant to be a currency, but people are using it for investing.
People are using it as a stock, and it's starting to drive me insane. Like,
that's the thing.
Please, Bitcoin, can you stop going up and down? Like, the whole point of Bitcoin is that there's a limited amount of Bitcoin, so there can't be inflation. That's like the whole idea behind it, right? But if we're gonna be changing the price of a Bitcoin, if we're gonna be changing like the product value of a Bitcoin, like, can I buy the shampoo with like 1/400th of a Bitcoin, or can I buy a house with that same exact amount of Bitcoin? That's if that number keeps changing every day, Bitcoin is not fulfilling its original promise, which is that
what was it
supposed to be a monetary.
What was the original promise of Bitcoin? Was just creating like an infrastructure,
decentralized.
A decentralized infrastructure for commerce, especially like because when I remember when Bitcoin was cheap and people just used to use it just for like people just used it for like just little bits of like donations, it was like more underground stuff. Yeah, like when you had Bitcoin, they used to talk about how like people who did drugs, sold drugs and all that stuff, they would use Bitcoin a lot.
Yeah, and that's the main currency in dark web, right?
Yeah, Bitcoin.
Do you know what's really interesting?
Again,
Bitcoin dropped 10K in the last 3 days.
Yeah, my investment went down 20%.
I was just reading that right now.
Because of Musk.
And the problem is, right? I know people who are like, yeah, it's gonna go up. It's gonna go. The reason why it's going up is because people think it's gonna go up. Like if you can predict the people, if you can predict the masses, the sheep, you can easily predict Bitcoin. Because like when the original spike was happening, right? All the news was talking about was Bitcoin. It was all cryptocurrency. And so all the people who don't know jack shit about it were investing into it because, oh, it's gonna go up. It's new technology. And of course it went up. And then people sold, and then the market's like, oh, it's gonna go down, it's gonna go down. So everyone sold it. So if you can just, it's similar to the Elon Musk situation, right? He says use Signal, and the Signal stock goes up an insane amount, like the wrong thing. Like people are so manipulable in this sense. And dude,
I feel like Ethereum is better than Bitcoin, but hey,
it is.
Don't come at me.
As far as I know, it is. Has it been spiking as much too?
Ethereum is going crazy too, but I feel like Ethereum, a lot of coins tokens are based off of Ethereum, so that makes it like
it comes with smart contract. The smart contract.
Yeah, I feel like the purpose of Ethereum is just better.
More functionality, less than just.
Actually, that's a good question. I want to see is it at 1,000?
It's at 900.
Wait, so I thought it was only Bitcoin, but why are
I had Ethereum when it was like $400?
Why are all the going down 15 to 20%? Is there a reason?
Your audio is really low again.
That's what I don't understand.
What about now? I don't know why all the cryptos are going down 15 to 20%. Well, they were up 50% of like within
That's the point, though. It was up 50% where it wasn't supposed to be up 50%.
It normalized.
Yeah. It's like it gets to a point where, and it's going to happen again. I feel like Bitcoin is just going to have these wild waves, and maybe at one point it stabilizes. But if Bitcoin stabilizes, it gets to a point where then Bitcoin becomes the better currency than other currency. Because if it gets to a point where it's more stable, then yeah, having Bitcoin would be amazing.
But the problem right now, here's a big problem with Bitcoin as currency, right? Because transactions do take quite some time. And by the time a transaction goes through, the value could change drastically.
If you're investing with Robinhood, no. It keeps the value that it's in. Like
Robinhood doesn't actually trade Bitcoin.
No. It's like it kind of like you don't really have, because if you buy crypto through Robinhood, you don't really kind of own it. You're just kind of like, it's like kind of like buying gold off of Robinhood too. Like on Cash App, you can actually buy crypto off the Cash App. You can actually buy Bitcoin because you can buy it, sell it, send it to other people. That's a wallet. That's actually you got an address. Robinhood, you don't really have an address.
Yeah, so what Robinhood does is imagine that they're holding on to it for you, and then they just let you trade it, which is kind of smart because it lets people who are inexperienced trade with it. And it's better in my opinion because of the speed that you can trade. Because regular like transfer speeds are not it. It's actually pretty slow compared to what we have else.
I typically buy Bitcoin all the time, and I feel like I stopped buying Bitcoin on Coinbase because Coinbase was so, for me it was slow. Like it just like they had like these verification things and they had everything that was like, with Cash App, I buy Bitcoin, boom, boom, got it, send it. It's so easy for me to buy and send Bitcoin with it. And also Cash App also had a thing where for every dollar you spend, you get 5% back in Bitcoin.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I was like, I got $20 off of that.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Huh.
But I think these places can. I was always curious about how these companies be doing that. Like these crypto companies be having some great rewards in terms of cash back with these currencies. So I'm thinking what's happening is they understand that if you get this money, right, you get this money of this crypto, but they can make money off of the what you call it, like how they make money off the interest of your money in regular bank accounts. I think they're doing the same thing with crypto.
That's very, very possible, and I think that, well, I don't, maybe. I think
they
Robinhood
might
does
be
do
doing
that.
what they do with gold. So all right, so with gold, when you buy gold, the company that you're like storing your gold at, they're gonna take like interest, right? But the thing about gold interest is that it doesn't function the way that, you know, like our money interest functions. So basically you got to pay the people to hold your gold, but instead of, let's say that you have like 3 grams in gold, right? Instead of you taking out 2.9 grams and they keep 0.1, what they're doing is they keep 0.1, but you stay with your 3 grams. So they generate fake gold, and now it, like, today in the world there is more gold owned in the world than there is gold available. So I think that's kind of what happens with these sites. I have no clue, but I'm imagining that's what happens. That they generate this fake cryptocurrency that doesn't exist anymore.
I don't think it happens with Cash App, because if you actually have access to the wallet, like then it's legit. I think that's probably what Robinhood does. Robinhood makes profits because they don't have commissions, but they have a margin. They actually take a little bit more.
Especially when you're doing options.
Dude, it says here, Bitcoin transfers on.
I mean, the thing is,
hold on, let me share my screen. Bitcoin transfers on. Hold on.
But you also don't know how much they're selling at, so it's very likely that they're just selling more expensive than what you think they are. Like they give you the money for what you wanted them to sell at, but they're selling for more expensive.
So it says Bitcoin transfers to external wallets usually take between 30 to 40 minutes, but can take longer.
It never took that long for me, though.
Really?
No. Wait, let's see. To other no, it never really took 30 or 40 minutes. Not for me.
For me, sometimes it did take that long.
It took like way less than that.
No,
I'm
but I
wondering
think
why that makes it so
I
much
think this is if you want to transfer. I think this is if you want to take it out on like in money, right? Like I think if you're just leaving the money in the app, like you sell your Bitcoin in the moment, but you don't actually take out the money, I think that's where it lies. Like that's the difference. You ever like take out the money from the account is what I'm saying.
Mm.
I don't mean convert Bitcoin to USD. I mean when you're transferring it to people, aka using Bitcoin the way it's supposed to be used. Hold on.
You're transferring to other people. I don't think it's 40 minutes if you're transferring Bitcoin.
This man
to other
got dark
people.
mode
That's
Google.
way too
About
much.
10 minutes. Okay, that's not bad at all.
Did you upload your Chrome? Hang on. Oh no, you
Upload, I mean
didn't upload.
update.
Yeah,
He
update.
still hasn't updated his
Upload.
Chrome.
Yeah, 10 minutes. The problem
Yeah.
is, let's see.
Don't do it.
I wonder how quickly the price of Bitcoin changes in 10 minutes. Look at that. Do you see that?
Depends on the day.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it does depend on the day.
that's the crazy part, right? It's like right here, right? 3, 2, and then okay, never mind. That's kind of the same thing. Hold on, right here. So it's $400 difference. So what? That's like $4 if you're transferring around $10.
It's up though, especially like if you're transferring a ton of money.
Yeah, no, because I tried purchasing some stuff with Bitcoin before, right? And the problem is that the transactions just they took so long, for me at least, when I was doing it. And I'm sure it like depends on how much traffic is going on. I really do want to learn more about the basics of it. Like I tried making my own thing, but it's still difficult to understand that and how smart contracts work. So hopefully I can actually learn about it. Not just like the base level knowledge that all the people who are investing in it have, but like actually understand fundamentally how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Leonard, we get it. You're a nerd.
All right, let's get out of this Bitcoin talk. Let's talk about something else. Let's get to the more controversial.
Like for example.
Why you have to do the for example?
There's nothing controversial. I feel like we all just agree with each other. Are you secretly homophobic? Like, I mean, how controversial can it get?
Back at it again.
Except people.
Are we? No, that's more of I think of a later conversation because this is supposed to be the news.
The news.
The news. Nike, what's on the news today?
All right, let's see. Let's go to Google News. Let's see what's up on Google News.
Study that all violent criminals jailed on minor drug offense should be released.
No, for real?
Wait,
what do you say?
Hold on, I'll send that to you guys. Europe is guaranteeing citizens the right to repair. That's actually really big. Hold on a second.
Europe is guaranteeing what?
Right. Okay.
The right to repair.
Do you know what right to repair is?
No.
It's basically so you know how what Apple can do, right, is they make it so it's almost impossible to fix your phone by yourself or by a third party, and Apple has to do it themselves.
Hey,
they don't
wait. They're making it so that you can fix your own shit finally.
Well, I think that's what I'm seeing by this article. Let me send you. So I just sent you guys the link to the minor drug offenses, and now I just sent the EU is restricting products designed to be unfixable, forcing companies to change their ways. That's interesting.
Fucking finally. That's actually really important. That's very good news. Dude, that's good on so many levels though. Like that's good financially, that's good for the environment. Like God, finally. That's the reason I hate Apple. That's why all my products are Android.
But keep in mind, with that come a lot of layoffs because a lot of jobs will be just gone. If I'm fixing
yes and no.
Where's the no?
But I agree. I think if you buy something, you should be able to fix whatever problems or issues is going on with it.
Yeah.
I'm not renting your goddamn
high-end
home
stuff that you cannot touch. That
like,
only
my question is, okay, why do we need to assure jobs for people that really aren't necessary in the equation?
Wait, what job?
Like,
what?
Why?
technicians.
So okay, so Gent said that. So Gent said that if we assure that everybody can fix their own products, then you're eliminating jobs. But I have two points to this. First off, I don't think those jobs are going to be eliminated because I still think that a lot of people are going to choose to have a professional replace their screen rather than do it themselves. Like, for example, I know that I can replace my Samsung screen. I know where to buy the screen. I know how to do it. But typically, if I don't think that it's too expensive, I'm probably going to get a professional to do it just because that's,
True.
their
revenue is going to drop though.
But that's not what right to repair is, though.
Right. If Archie, right to repair is so that you can go to professionals to have it fixed. Because the problem is right now what you can do is you can only go to Apple, for example. You can only go to John Deere. You can only go to Tesla. You can't even if a person is professional.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So then there's no loss of jobs there.
Yeah.
There's actually more jobs.
Yeah.
More jobs, more independent repair shops, more people who can.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wait, that a normal technician cannot fix an Apple phone?
No.
They have to go around different avenues in order to fix it.
Wow. Yo, in
I didn't
Albania,
know that either.
do everything. We don't have Apple stores in Albania. That's why.
And here's the thing, right?
Crazy.
So
in Panama, you only have resellers. You don't have.
There are certain parts of the iPhone that you can buy from manufacturers, right? Some chipsets, right? Apple will prevent that chipset manufacturer from selling it to repair shops. They literally they stop them from there's this guy called Louis Rossman who does all the videos on this stuff because he runs a repair shop, right? And it's really, really interesting because he manages to repair boards still, but so many things are coming in. And like, for example, right? This Mac, the new M1 Mac, it's basically unfixable if something happens. Because everything's on one chip. Everything's on like one chip. The RAM, the drive, everything is all on that one chip. So if one of those components fails, you got to replace the entire thing. And Apple's the only one who can provide that product, that replacement part.
So now in Europe, they're making it so Apple don't have the monopoly of this, of the repairing their own products, right?
I guess they're making it so that designs have to be fixable. So that it's not that it's gonna be easy or whatever to do.
Standardizing, are they like standardizing the design? Like you have to have standard pieces. Like how Mac has those fucking like screws, the nails that are all like messed up, and you have to buy the specific screwdriver just for Apple.
Yeah, I hate that. Mac, they always try to have a closed system, and it's just so annoying to me.
So is that what they're trying to outlaw?
No.
Like, they're trying to make it all
you can get the parts for that. I think what they're trying to make illegal or trying to enforce is so that it's possible to get the stuff.
Make it available.
Make it available. It doesn't have to be easy, but it has to be there at least.
And then if they do that, it gets to the point. Why would they make something different? It's like they only make something different so it's harder to repair.
Yeah, I mean that's why Apple makes all their shit so weird. Like, finally they switched to the C charger, but before they had their own charger so that you could buy a secondhand charger.
iPhone? No, did you guys hear about this? Hold on. So
the new iPhone is still not on the C though.
So Apple, hold on, I'm going to go to Apple's website and I'm going to show you guys something.
No, the iPhone 12 is not on C. Is on C.
iPhone 12 is not on USB-C. But what they claim is wait, I'm going to look for it. Where they like.
That is very stupid. But the iPads have been on C for like a long time now, and the Macs are definitely on C.
Yeah, exactly. Everything is on it except for their phones. But hold on a second. I have to find what they talk about.
So what a dick move.
No, there's more.
These dang animations. They got like 30 damn animations before you get to the content.
Hold on a second. I'm looking for where they talk about how they're.
Every day I hate Apple more and more.
Like Jesus, they just like had like 30 fucking look like they have a whole movie before you get to what you're trying to get to.
You gotta read Steve Jobs' autobiography
right?
before you get the information.
They don't care, bro. They're like,
They're just trying to sell
Like-
shit. But
You've been brainwashed, basically.
This is what I'm looking for. We reduced our carbon footprint by thinking inside the box.
oh, give you a charger.
What they did is they stopped including the brick, right? So the actual Apple brick, the part that you put into the wall and then you plug in the cable to that, right? What it is, they're like, hey, you know what? Everyone already has that brick. Everyone already has some kind of USB charging device. So we're going to be eco-friendly and we're not going to provide that. But you know what? While we're at it, let's make the provided cable Lightning to USB-C. Which is
no
with any of their previous wall chargers. Because all their wall chargers are regular USB. But the cable they provide in the box is Lightning to USB-C.
That is such a dick move.
How much did they cut down their cost of making it?
It's still the same price.
No. The cost of making the product. How much did they cut off by not including the charger?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure their profits didn't get hit that hard.
They actually got sued for it.
Good. Are they still in the process of things?
This is in 2020. Also, the Lightning connectors break very quickly.
That's true. And then, but the thing is, the iPhone block is trash, anyways. The one they give you out the box is they never give you a fast one. That like you have to buy the fast charger on your own.
Exactly. Yeah. And literally all their other devices are USB-C. Why not just make the phone USB-C? Like
we don't know. Apple always wants to be different.
Dude, do you remember?
That's why I can't wait the Linux phones take over.
Oof.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited for Linux phones.
Because at that point, then we don't have to worry about any kind of people banning other like you don't have to worry about this whole just one or two companies owning the whole ecosystem of mobile applications.
Yeah, it's a big problem because it's just Google and there's nothing open source. They're all companies. You remember the thing with Fortnite when they Apple was taking 30%. Oh, wait, here's a really interesting thing, right? All these companies were talking about Google and Apple. They were talking about how much they helped during the beginning of the COVID crisis, right? But the thing is, they require a 30% fee on all in-app purchases.
Yeah.
This includes the purchases that people make to small business owners on Facebook. For like this, because Facebook held these things where small businesses can have like these seminars and they can like sell their products because they can't do it in person, right? And so people could do this online. And Google and Apple were taking 30% of everything that the small businesses were earning because of that.
Pretty much, and it's like, but it's complicated because they always be like, well, you're using our platform, using our services, and yada yada yada. But the only reason why is because yours is the only one that exists.
Yeah, exactly. Like I fully agree with.
I mean,
yeah. Like I fully.
agree. Yeah, I agree with you.
It's your platform. Make your profits. But the problem is that there's no other alternative, and there are a lot of people who really need the money during this time. Like big corporations, sure, take 30%, do whatever you want. They're using your thing. However, there should be some sort of alternative though for like. I'm pretty sure you could like.
Where are you getting at?
Onto Android, right?
What do you mean?
What?
Like, you can download apps onto Android without the App Store, and you could like make your.
Okay, you can do that onto iPhone as well, but it's like
not without backdooring it. Or like jailbreaking it.
Really?
You have to jailbreak it, yeah.
That is disappointing.
Apple's
Wow.
making it really, really restrictive right now.
What's the time?
12.
Time is 12 o'clock,
12.
ladies and gentlemen.
No, what's the stream time?
Oh.
How long we been going for? Let me check. 35 minutes.
Jesus. It doesn't feel like 35 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, you guys got anything else you want
I
to
know.
talk about?
Time flies when you're with me. Am I right?
I know, just like Jesus right now.
Oh my god. Look,
I know, it's 'cause I am.
I'm really flattered, but I'm taken, unfortunately.
I know. I told her that too. And then I said that I was taken by Jesus. And then she said, well, I am Jesus.
Wait.
I did not say that. I said, how do you know I'm not Jesus? That's what I said.
Wait.
Do not.
He's not
that
the
is
one
not-
flirting with you
yeah.
here, okay? Like, that's, I see
Exactly, right? If
Who's-
somebody says something like, oh, I'm married to Jesus, but they're like, well, how do you know I'm not Jesus? And I was thinking like, well, so wait, you're saying that like you
like,
exactly,
like,
right?
Okay, no, I think you guys are wildly misinterpreting what I'm saying. I'm hitting on myself. I am equating myself to godlike creatures. That is what's going on here.
Sure.
You guys are just
Okay.
misinterpreting for your own benefit.
I wasn't. Doesn't
that's-
that sound? What do you think, Gint? If somebody says like, "Hey, I'm married to Jesus," and if somebody says something like, "How do you know I'm not Jesus?" What do you think that sounds like?
Yeah.
Look, as of now, she identifies as a woman, and whatever she says to her own world, it's
Yeah, her own world.
We're all
in our
living in
world,
our
that would have
own world. We're
been.
all
Yeah, exactly. That would be
mistaken.
something different.
Like,
Wait.
Cause she's.
What is that again? Sexism? What is that?
No. Can you identify as a male for 1 minute, and we'll be talking with our filters?
I mean, who says that Jesus is now a dude? Everybody was like, "Oh, Jesus is gonna come back to life. Jesus might be among us." We don't know if Jesus looks like how Jesus looked like before.
All I know is
Something.
I'm married to Jesus. But you said you were Jesus.
How do you? When did you marry Jesus? I want to see the certificate. I want to see the certificate, please.
Certificate of what?
Marriage.
Your marriage, bro.
Look,
I want to see the marriage license.
It's simply belief,
Exactly. You don't have to show.
Oh yeah.
What?
Wait,
What are
guys,
you? Are you Jewish? Oh no, you are Jews. You don't believe in Jesus.
Guys.
Yeah, I'm Jewish.
So we're not going to be political. Did you hear? So Google and Apple dropped Parler from their app stores, and Amazon Web Services just dropped them from the internet.
Yeah, I had an issue with that a little bit.
Well, so now this is not political though. That's just because they were apps that were inciting terrorism. I mean, like, you have an issue with removing an app that literally encourages people to...
No, it was because they made it a good point. Now I feel like you have to specific. I get their point in saying that, hey, you need to have a moderation system in place to shut that down. I get that. That's true. Parler probably has a better moderation system, because you don't want people, like, say if you had a house and everybody was talking about doing something bad in that house. Yes, that would be an issue, and the person that is holding that meeting in that house will be held accountable for holding that meeting. And same thing with Parler. You got to have some kind of way of filtering out people. But it gets to a point where it's like, okay, cool, but Twitter, like, I feel like the biggest thing wasn't Parler doing that. If it was anything, it was YouTube. All the YouTube channels that was encouraging all this stuff. It's like, I saw more of that information on YouTube and Facebook than I ever saw on Parler. Parler is a spear. It doesn't gain more people really from like YouTube, and Facebook is what gains people like regular people that to go to Parler.
Yes, you're right that YouTube and Facebook are kind of like the recruiters, but Parler creates this echo chamber that kind of creates this fake reality kind of around the person, where they just simply, it's like, oh, everybody in the world who is like awoken to the truth agrees with me that this is the truth. We are enlightened, and we need to. It's like terrorists that do suicide bombing, and they think that what they're doing is to save us. They're killing us because we are the ones who are not supposed to be doing what we're doing. They're sacrificing themselves to help us. That's what suicide bombers think. And I mean, that's very messed up, but that's how they see it.
I agree with you entirely, but I think it's an issue like what we talked about yesterday was sometimes you have to give a voice to the people who have the most ridiculous things, because then everyone could have common sense and be like, hey, what you're talking about is ridiculous. However, if you ban them from Facebook, from Twitter, they're forced to go to Parler, where they are more in this bubble, right? And then you ban Parler, they're going to go somewhere else. They're not just going to, it's not just going to end it, you know? They're going to go further and further where we can see them less and less. And they're going to be in that bubble more and more.
It's going to be more dangerous. And then I feel like the attack on the Capitol isn't because that, it's not only because Parler exists, it's because that these companies, these people feel like they're being silenced, and they feel like they're having less and less of a voice. So they're feeling like, oh man, I don't have a voice. I'm gonna go to the Capitol,
take more drastic action.
Yeah, I'm gonna like, you're gonna hear me. Yeah. You're gonna hear what I gotta say, regardless of how it's gonna be. You know, if they can, if these people can have this platform to say how they feel, why can't I just have my own platform to say how I feel, even though what I say may be, to other people may be wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're right that it's probably not creating the, the correct results. But as companies, Google and Android and iPhone, you can't, like Apple, right? You can't outright endorse the idea of apps like these. Like, how do I say this? I was in an argument, right, with a person who was like, I think there shouldn't be a drinking age limit, right? That was what this person was saying. Like, she didn't think there should be a minimum drinking age. And I was like, okay, explain your side. She was basically saying how teenagers and kids are going to drink either way. They're not stopped by the law. And like, you're not really, it's like a fake law, right? Like everybody drinks. That's what she was telling me. And I was like, okay, but first of all, that's not true. A lot of people don't drink because they don't want to get in trouble with the law, or because they're just against drinking. And second, yeah, sure, you might drink when you're 14, but the government can't endorse that because science doesn't endorse that. Like, you're doing something that's bad for you at an age where you can't make decisions for yourself. And even though removing the drinking age might help cut down, young drinking, which it doesn't, because it's been proven that it doesn't. But even if it did, the government can't endorse it. The government has to say, hey, I'm against this. This is not good. And I feel like that's what's going on with these companies right now. They're kind of saying, hey, we don't endorse this stuff. That's what I think.
I get it, but I feel like eventually, sometimes it may get to a point where if things like, society always changes, and people always like to go, especially on Twitter, look at people's old tweets about what they put up before. So if it gets to a point that Twitter has to change their rules, the guide with how society is, is may or may be going, and then banning people off these previous tweets, it gets to a point where it's like start thinking like, okay, what's going on here? This was at the time was okay, or at the time was right.
Okay, so I think the major difference, and what we're not taking into account, is that lives were lost, right? Like, people died, and more people could have died if, like, we're lucky that the police and the military, they sided with the government. They didn't side with the terrorists. But it could have gone a lot worse. In Venezuela, it happened. There was a coup, and the military was with the coup leader, which was Chavez at the time. The military was not with the government. So the people had the guns, because the people had the military, and it was a disaster. A lot of people died, and a lot of people have died since then. So we are lucky. I do remember when, on the 6th, a lot of my friends that live in the US are like, I'm embarrassed to be in America. I can't believe this happens to America. Like, this is horrifying. And on one hand, yeah, I can't believe that happened. But on the other hand, if this had been any other country, Trump would have won. Like, they would not have gotten away. Like that wouldn't have ended how it ended, which was with very minimal deaths and truly with the new government passing. Like, Trump is going to get impeached right now, regardless of whether he's found guilty. At least he's getting impeached. And Biden will be the president by the 20th. That would not happen in any other country that I know. Like, most countries would have just allowed the dictatorship because it's sort of whose side are the guns at. And I feel like the guns are kind of pro-Trump right now. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't even know what I was getting at. What I'm saying is people are dying, right? Like, it's not about banning someone for saying homophobic shit. Like, it's not like somebody's saying, you know, the F slur and the N slur on Twitter and you're like, you're banned because you're canceled. It's like, no, people died and a lot more people could have died. And I think that's where we draw the line, when people are inciting violence, you know? And violence without a cause, because
I think, okay, so we're not going to include this part. We're not going to include this part in the thing because it's too political. So
no, we're definitely including it.
I mean, okay, we could include it, we could not include it. I think the problem is that they're focusing less on the actual content, on the actual text of the tweet, and they're going more politics wise. For example, I've seen so many tweets from both sides that were insanely actually violent and like encouraging violence towards certain groups of people that were never removed, that were never flagged.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's not, I don't think it's just because he's inciting violence. I don't think he directly, I don't know if
he has been inciting violence this entire time.
What?
Like he's been doing this for years now. That's a large part of the difference. Why didn't they ban him earlier?
Why right now? If he's
because he was the president of the United States,
he should have been banned from the start.
I agree. I don't understand how they took so long. Like, personal opinion, yeah, hell yeah, they should have banned him before. And I know what you were gonna say. And if you were gonna start talking about BLM, I'm gonna tell you why that's different and why. First of all, 97% of the protests were completely peaceful. First of all, and second, one thing is fighting for, you know, your right to live and, you know, not be fucking murdered in the street for no reason. And another thing is rioting because your daddy lost.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But at the same time, those 10%.
There's no difference. It's not the same. Caused. I agree. It means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those 10%, you know, like being in New York City, we experienced that directly. Like that, the riots were like literally outside our door. And the reason I say riots because there was people literally throwing like there's two sides to it, because there were peaceful protesters who were literally getting abused by the police down in Brooklyn. Like, I don't know what was going on there, but then there's also was rioters who was just robbing, you know, mom and pop shops and going into like different Foot Lockers and Targets and just robbing people and then causing crazy amounts of damage.
Right, but that's very different from what happened at the Capitol. So
it
first
is.
of all, those are people that were taking advantage. They were taking advantage of the protests to riot. Like, okay, so for example, something that happened in Venezuela was that when there was not this election from this year, but the previous election, during that election day, a lot of people took the opportunity to literally just loot stores. They just fucking went crazy. They just looted stores for no reason. Like, they weren't rioting, they weren't protesting anything, they weren't going on strike, they were just stealing shit. They took advantage of the chaos that was caused by an election season in a dictatorship country, and they fucking stole shit. And in my opinion, the people who were looting and the people who were rioting, those weren't people who were truly standing for the message. You know, those are people that took advantage. Now,
the problem, I agree with you entirely, right? But you can't say we're not going to generalize a group based on this, and then we're going to generalize all police because of this, right? So the problem is, I'm against police brutality. There's nothing about that. Okay, I'll protest the system and everything. And I was considering going to the protest, but the problem is it was legitimately dangerous. They caused a lot of damage. 19 people died in the Black Lives Matter protests. That's violence. The fires, that's violence. Like he said, mom and pop shops, all the private stores, that's all violence. Okay, and I agree with you. The Black Lives Matter protests were so much more justified and had justification versus this because Trump lost, right? But that doesn't change that's what I'm saying, right? It's not about what they're doing is it's based on justification and the politics behind it versus this is still violence. You understand? You understand what I'm saying?
I
like,
agree
regardless
that
of justification or not, it's still violence.
yeah.
You had to be here. Like if you was here during that time, if you saw Manhattan like in person and saw all the boarded up stuff, the broken glass, the people that was in the middle of Times Square throwing stuff at cars, and was like Black Lives Matter. And it's like the thing that's crazy about me with it was that it was like some people, and the thing that was crazy to me with a lot of people, I'm gonna tell you the truth, that 10%. People want to blame like they weren't. A lot of them weren't black.
It's
Those people that was tearing stuff up.
A lot of them were white.
They were white, and it was making the movement look bad. It was making It was making the movement look bad because it was like another thing they're saying like, oh yeah, Black Lives Matter, this and that. But I'm thinking like you're trashing these corporations and these companies, and you're gonna make black people look bad because who you think they're gonna blame this on? When you type in Black Lives Matter because there was a video of this.
And I do.
There was this video of this white girl who was at the Starbucks, right? And she, it's kind of funny that it said like that. But there was a video of this white girl at a Starbucks, and she sprayed Black Lives Matter on it. And it was this black lady said, no, don't do that, because she was like, Black Lives Matter, man, Black Lives Matter. I was like, no, they're gonna blame. She was like, they're gonna blame that on us. Don't do that. And she was like, you don't even know. I fought for the cause. I'm like, oh my goodness.
I've heard that being called the white savior complex.
Yeah.
Or something. But it's funny because that in itself, like thinking that, like it's funny. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, they don't realize that what they need to do with this. Like that's kind of racist too. Like here's the thing, right? I fully agree with the protest. Holy shit, the guy died while in police custody. I don't think the police should have the power to kill anybody, right? I completely agree. And the way that they handle
the police, that's up to the judge. Like that's why the fuck can
some situations
I don't even understand how.
Some situations, but in this case, did you guys watch?
I'm gonna tell you what I think.
If the guy's shooting at the police, if the guy's
shooting that's the point. If somebody's
with the technology that we have, with the technology that we have today, there's no need for. No, I'm just saying there's no need for lethal action.
Today. Huh?
There's no need for lethal action. I do think that we can and do have guns that can temporarily paralyze a person or put them to sleep very quickly without taking their life. Like you don't need to be killing people.
Do you think a school shooter should be shot while they're in the process of doing it, or should they be tried to be unarmed and disabled? Do you think someone?
I'm not a judge. So I'm not a judge. I'm not a jury. So I can't make that decision because I
don't think we have a reasonable stun gun for that though. There's no.
And it's not most of the time going to work.
Yeah, stun guns. Sometimes they get jammed, and another times is that the distance isn't that far.
Stun guns get jammed too.
What?
Right, but isn't it?
They can, but the reloading time is different.
Yeah, but if we wanted to, we could though. That's what I'm saying.
I think if we wanted to, we could. I think if you were in the situation, you'd think about it. I don't like the idea of taking lives, but I do know that we can't just, expect people to act reasonably if they're already causing violence and killing people.
No, exactly. God, no. I do think that there's a lot of people that, don't act reasonably, but I just don't think that a fucking police is the one who should be in charge of deciding whether they live or die. That's kind of, well, first of all, I'm against the death penalty.
They made the decision themselves. If you go in there committing violence and you're trying to go, say if you just come here and I got a gun, I'm about to do premeditated murder against somebody. What do you think? What do you think they should expect? They should expect that somebody's going to try to come there, either try to arrest them or try to kill them. Because guess what? You're trying to cause harm to somebody else.
The police know that that's what's going on. That's where the problem lies.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. Is there a regular difference between, let's say there's a school shooting, right? Is there a difference between a police officer shooting a person?
School shooting is a school shooting.
But you can't categorize it. It has to be the same thing. You have to have the same opinion for all the different things.
Okay,
fine. The same opinion for a school shooting is.
I might change my opinion.
Okay.
Okay.
So what's the difference between a police officer shooting that person versus a civilian shooting that person?
A civilian should not have a gun. I am a person, okay, I own a lot of guns because I have a farm and there are a lot of snakes nearby. I shot guns from the age of
Zombies.
7. I know how to shoot a gun and I have easy access to guns.
She lives in
And
The Walking
I am
Dead.
telling you, I don't live in The Walking Dead. Dear God, no. I am telling you that I should not be allowed to carry around a gun, even though I have really good aim. I know how to use a gun. I own a gun. I shouldn't be carrying a gun. Like a civilian shouldn't have a gun.
I think people should have guns. I think people should have the guns to fight, just like I believe in the Black Panthers' right to carry arms and to protest with arms. I think that everyone should have. I don't think that everyone should have arms, but the problem is, ideally in a society, we would not own these death weapons, right? But the problem is that there are other people who do own these weapons.
Do you really think that guns are gonna save you from like open fire? You think you're at a restaurant eating with your friends and somebody opens fire?
I'm built different.
I'm not. No. I'm different on that. That I don't feel like people. I feel like the only reason I say Americans in general should have guns. Hear me out. Is because it's already there. You know, if you're gonna start a country, in my opinion, I wouldn't want people having guns because there's like I wouldn't want like a nation to start off like having these weapons of like I was about to say weapons of mass destruction, but still like these people can use these weapons. It's just like this is weapon that's specifically made directly just to kill people, and a lot of times just to kill some of them just to kill a lot of people efficiently.
And that's the problem.
It's a problem, but I mean,
so you agree that people shouldn't have guns?
It gets to a point. I feel like the basis of life is that you should be able to protect yourself in whatever way you can. If you live in a society where people have guns that attack you, you should have things that can defend you.
Okay, so let's be like clear about this. I thankfully did not have to live through the riots. I haven't seen any of the actual protests because I don't live in that country. But I lived in Venezuela. And now I just want to make it clear about like what my situation was in Venezuela, which was even before Chavez was in power, there was a lot of violence in the country. Like it's a country that is just, there's so much fucking violence all the time, everywhere. You always hear about people getting kidnapped, people being, held hostage, people being fucking like killed all the time. It's horrifying. And so when I was younger and I lived there, we had 2 bodyguards that each had guns. And would follow us everywhere. And, we had like alarms in the house. We had a large security system. Reason being that my dad was kidnapped 3 times. And the first time that he was held hostage was when I think he was 16 or 17. And it was at his house when my grandma, so my grandpa didn't live with them. He lived in a different country. And my grandma went away for a work trip. And they basically like went into his house with a gun, right? Now his house, he had an alarm system and he owned guns, like a lot of guns. He had guns, but he was woken up in the middle of the night with a gun to his head and he was tied up. He had the guns and he still didn't get saved. The only reason he survived that situation was because they only went in there to steal some money and leave. Like the only reason he survived was because they didn't want to kill him. None of the guns that he had protected him, and none of the 3 times that he was kidnapped did any guns protect him ever. It's just not realistic.
Scenario. That's your scenario, right?
We call that an outlier in
Bruh,
in a situation.
3 fucking times. 3 fucking times. You seriously think? Okay, you think that you're asleep, right? You're asleep. You get woken up with a gun to your head. The first thing you're gonna do is reach behind your pillow to grab a gun. You're already dead by that point.
Well, in that situation, of course, there's different situations that can come. If somebody's trying to break into your home and there's a gun near your bed, you can reach for that gun. Huh?
Okay, so you're saying that if somebody's trying to break into my house, if I have a gun, I'm gonna save my life.
Most likely.
Most likely. Time.
Yeah.
If somebody with a gun is coming to my house to steal something and if possible harm. Look, take this, right? One time somebody because I could have potentially got shot and killed because somebody was trying to steal my mom's car and he had a gun.
Yeah.
he had a gun, and he was because I was turning my mom's car on, and I went in the house, and then he said that if anybody was there, he was going to shoot them on sight and take the car. So I'm thinking, like, pretty sure if I would have saw somebody walking around, some dude walking around near me that I don't know trying to steal something, maybe I could just, do something with that.
Would you? So you're telling me that you would look at a person in their eyes while they were trying to steal a car and shoot them, knowing that you are now a murderer?
Was trying to shoot me and had a gun, possibly?
No. Yeah. If they're, let's be honest. If they're trying to shoot you,
let them get away with
they are going
property?
to kill you. No, that's what investigations are for, and that's what cops should be for, not for killing people. If you genuinely believe that cops work, then you shouldn't be needing guns. Because let's be honest. Okay, here's the situation. If somebody's pointing a gun at you, you're not going to pull out a gun because they're going to shoot you before you shoot them. Okay, that's just how it works. Because they came into this situation knowing that we're going to kill someone, and if you're a person that just carries around a gun and you've never killed someone and you've never shot at a person, you're not going to be prepared to shoot at a person in a moment. And if a person does not have a gun at you, your life is not in danger, and you look at them and you shoot them, and that person ends up dying, you have that on your guilty conscience for the rest of your life. Like, you're telling me that you're going to look at someone who is trying to break someone else's home and fucking murder them? You're willing to do that?
Okay, so I think this is there are some fantastic arguments both for and against. The arguments against it are that having a gun escalates violence. Having a gun makes people take even more drastic action, right? So there's a higher possibility of violence where there wasn't before. I agree with that entirely. I can't disagree with that because they're both sides to a story. However, the other side is, dude, we can't just say, oh yeah, just come in. So what you're saying is don't retaliate at all. Someone tries to go into your private property. Someone goes into your private space, your private property, your person, essentially, because your property is an extension of yourself, and they try to take everything. And you don't know if they're going to harm you or not. You don't know their intentions. You can never know what's going on. So do you just, and obviously, okay, regardless if the cops were efficient or not, they would never get there in time to solve anything. Nothing. So,
which is, I think says a lot, right?
It says a lot, but unfortunately, people can't teleport yet. And here's the problem, right? I agree with you imperfectly if we had an ideal world, but unfortunately, you never know what people's intentions are. You should still make the smart call. Even if you have a gun, you have to know when's the right time to use it, to show it, to do anything. Because sometimes just purely having a gun can scare off a lot of people.
Violence.
A lot of people. And it causes, agreed. So that's a problem. And I agree with both sides of the argument, but you will never come to a conclusion with this argument because there always are going to be situations where you would rather have the gun and would rather not have the gun.
We're never going to reach a middle point because I've had personal experience with intense violence while you guys have just thought about it, right? I mean, have you ever been face to face with someone breaking into your house?
Yeah,
I was in the scene of a terrorist attacks in Spain. We were literally running from the bombs. So I don't know if that counts. Yeah.
Were you gonna if you had a gun, would you shoot at the terrorist?
You would feel more protected though. What if someone just holds someone on a gunpoint, right? And Lenny has a gun to save him.
Oh, I don't think Lenny has the good aim.
But
no, okay,
I'm gonna save you and accidentally kill
No.
Of you surviving would be higher. That's a fact.
No. Gent brought up a good point though. Like, it makes you feel safe. And I do, like, if I'm at the farm, right? Typically, if I'm just like, if I'm by the roads, I'll probably, I don't usually take a gun. But if I go exploring, I'll take a gun in case I see another human because, like, honestly,
you do have a gun.
The snakes kind of run away from people. So I do think the gun is a deterrent, and I am scared of getting raped and stuff in the middle of the jungle. That's not very kind. And also, there's a lot of, like, shady drug shit that goes on in these jungles. So, like, yeah, I kind of need a gun. But I've never shot at someone, and I don't think so. This is the difference. So Gent said it's about feeling safe. I feel safe with a gun. am never gonna shoot at a person. I'm not gonna kill a person. I think I would rather die than kill a person.
You cannot
I
say
can't
that.
imagine
You cannot say that. You cannot trust your adrenaline rush when you're in the life or death situation. You're gonna do everything
Leonard,
in your power to survive.
Hang on, wait. Leonard, did you stop recording?
No, but it's not streaming right now.